Hello and welcome to Inspired Caregiver. My name is Michelle. I created this podcast because I was the primary family caregiver for both of my grandmothers for a collective 7 years, which meant I handled everything from car keys to managing their households, dealing with all this stuff, and then ultimately end-of-life care. And I've worked in senior living as a result of that experience for over 7 years. So this podcast is designed to share with you insights, tips, tricks, and inspiration through those experiences, and I hope you enjoy it. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Inspired Caregiver. Hello, my friends. How are you? I'm doing great. Did the title of this episode catch your eye? It definitely has my attention. I have been on quite the journey the last couple of weeks, and for all the right reasons, they've just flown by. I've left my full-time job in the skilled nursing home, and I am now full-time in my own company, and I am absolutely thrilled to be here with you. I have taken the last 2 weeks to reconnect with myself, just trying to regroup from the chaos of the last 2 years and know that it's just going to be an ongoing journey. And last week, I actually had the opportunity to go to Kansas City and revisit the nursing homes and houses actually that my grandmothers lived in. So that was really special. I am just recentering right now on our family priorities, which are currently helping my husband's parents, and stepping full-time into building all of the creative content for my business. So I'm really excited about it. I know this is a real luxury, having the opportunity to have this time to regroup, and I'm super grateful for it. Very, very grateful for my husband and all the support he's providing me. What is coming together from this downtime is going to help so many people. And I'm really excited and slightly terrified to put my work out there in the world and offer it to everybody. But it is what has been on my heart for 3 years. And I've been on the sidelines and getting up at 4 a.m. and working on it and chipping away at this. So I'm really excited to be pulling it all together. So stay tuned for more information on what is to come. Before I left my day job, actually, I had a variety of symptoms happening in my body that sent me to a neurologist. The two most alarming to me were I had some bouts of vertigo, which I had never had before, and I had a tingling in my jaw, like that radiated down the left side of my face and in my jaw. And the neurologist did the full exam and said that I'm healthy. There's nothing he's worried about, but that I have a hyperactive nervous system and it's just overtaxed. You may have heard on previous episodes, I've talked about having night terrors, and I've really figured out the magic formula to prevent those, thank God. They're pretty disruptive to our household. But just in the last 2 weeks, I feel like things are settling down. I feel like the vertigo is gone and I'm not having that tingling in my face quite as much. But one of the most interesting observations that I've made, the reason I share that medical stuff with you, ties back into the title of this episode, Unclench. Because one of the most interesting observations that I continue to have, that I am having about my body, is there's just this constant undercurrent of urgency about what is going to happen next or what's coming up. Just this not dissatisfaction, but just this uneasiness, right? And it doesn't feel like anxiety specifically, because I definitely have bouts of anxiety where my heart is racing and I feel like crying and I just feel like I need to go crawl under my covers. So it's not anxiety. My thoughts feel calm, but I just catch myself throughout the day realizing that my whole body is tensed up. So my muscles are like squeezing and clenched, uh, and like in my shoulders. I find that my legs are just like super tense and tight if I'm sitting. And I'm holding my breath, just slightly holding my breath. And I first noticed this while I was driving because I don't know where I was going, probably to work. And I just realized that all of the muscles in my legs were squeezing. And as I pulled up to this light, I was like, okay, let's just take a minute and relax, right? Relax my lower body. And I had noticed, this is so funny, I had noticed that like my butt and legs always felt kind of sore, like I had been really working out hard, doing lots of squats or something, but I couldn't figure out why they were so sore. And now I am realizing it is because I am constantly in this tensed up state. And I frequently was realizing that my jaw is clenching. Like I'm not grinding my teeth, but I'm gritting my teeth. And I once, this is so funny, I had a medium tell me during a reading that I needed to unclench. So clearly this keeps coming to mind as I have been preparing for this episode, and it makes me laugh. I think it's hilarious. When I was in Kansas City last week, I had to go retrace my steps with all of my caregiving in Kansas City with my grandmothers. I had a Reiki session with a Reiki master. Her name's Cindy, and she indicated that my energy is on very high alert. And I've always been a little bit that way, but now it's just feeling really exacerbated. And I know it's always been on alert because my dad used to tell me that as a kid growing up in Brooklyn Heights, I just was really dialed in. I had good street smarts and really dialed into like who was approaching us, you know, if a homeless person was awake or asleep on the street. And I had an alertness about me. So as we'd be walking down the street, I would nudge him to say, hey, we need to cross the street. And I was under 10, right? I was born in Manhattan and I lived in Brooklyn Heights until I was 10. And then when I was 10, so I always had good street smarts. And then when I was 10, I moved to Berkeley, California, and I just completely had to turn up the dial on being alert at home too. I had a whole new environment, new surroundings to acclimate to. So I've always had that skill, but it definitely has been stressful to just feel like I'm constantly on alert. So I have definitely taken some time just to feel sorry for myself, that this is my current natural state is like completely squeezed up and on mega high alert. You know, I don't want to be this tense version of myself. And sitting in that and stewing in it for a long period of time is just not going to serve me. But I've acknowledged it. I've drawn awareness to it and I've acknowledged it. And I've thanked that version of myself for keeping me safe. And now I'm really focused on working to unwind a little bit. So when I'm driving, I'm often still finding myself in that state of being completely squeezed up. So I'm intentionally taking a deep breath and relaxing my muscles, relaxing my jaw, lowering my shoulders. My mom said shoulders are not earrings. So lowering your shoulders and relaxing my butt and legs. My ability to have this heightened awareness of my surroundings has definitely served me tremendously over the years, especially as I have and continue to help older family members. But being on this level of high alert is completely unsustainable. So I have to redirect myself. back to the moment I'm in. So last night, for example, my son and I grabbed a deck of cards and went over to see Grandpa at the assisted living. And I had to take a deep breath and just be sitting there with him in the assisted living. He was eating a Dairy Queen hamburger and enjoying that peanut butter buster parfait cup. We had blizzards. We were playing Go Fish. And in this moment, this is good, is what I had to tell myself. This is good. This is safe. We're okay. Unclench. I want to leave you with the invitation to be paying attention to your body. What signals is your body giving you to demonstrate that it needs a little extra TLC and attention and maybe unclench? Identify when and where you're finding yourself extra wound up. And then with that observation, relax. Take a breath. Relax through your muscles. You don't have to fully let your guard down, but you do have to take that deep breath. Release your jaw. Slowly lower your shoulders and relax any other muscles that are contracted. So there is a chance. There is a slight chance that my tushy looks as good as it does because I have been in a complete muscular contraction for 2 years because I have been so wound up. But knowing that I'm healthy and that my nervous system just can't sustain that level of contraction. I don't even know what the word is. I'm going to have to unclench. So maybe my tushy won't look as good. That's okay. It's a risk I am willing to take. I want you to know that you are not alone. This is just something else consistently that I hear from people is they just are feeling so isolated and lonely on this journey. And you are not alone. We are everywhere. I'm in multiple support groups. Someone put out there, how old is everybody? And so many people were saying 50s, 30s, 20s, 60s, 70s. So just know that you're not alone. And I see you and I love you and you are doing a great job. A great job. Okay? I'll see you next week. Bye. Hey, thank you so much for sharing this time with me today. If there is anyone that you know that would benefit from hearing this podcast, I would love it if you would share it with them. My goal, my crazy big, audacious goal, is that my podcast helps 10,000 people every week along their caregiver journey. So thank you so much for helping spread the word about Inspired Caregiver.